So this is a little bit of a different video. I'm visiting Paris for work, and I stopped in at several hobby shops. They had several. This one is Al Pullman. Looking through the windows here, the outside is decorated like a Trans-Europe Express post-war passenger car, and they carried a lot of HO and N scale, as you can see in this loaded window. This hobby shop is in the neighborhood of St. George. There are many hobby shops in this one area. Al Pullman is a bit off to the side, but looking inside, you can see it's similar to hobby shops that we see in America. Lots of glass front storage of new engines, and a lot of engines on display. Everything facing out, it was so full. In France, they do regular 2-rail HO as well as 3-rail Märklin. This hobby store carried a little bit of each, as well as some LGB, Trix, Pico, and Jouf, and Arnold. I even saw some not only French subjects, but Italian, British, German, Swiss, even a couple of American engines. They were well stocked, lots of scratch building supplies. These are a lot of Arnold paints, building kits. Building kits were mostly in the back. These were a whole aisle of HO scale figures. And on the other side, as we turn the camera, you'll see HO scale vehicles, Bush and Arnold, Viking, Woodland Scenic scenery stuff, Knock scenery stuff. There's some building kits. There are about, I counted 5 different French language hobby magazines. So the hobby is nearly as popular there as here. Another shop I went to was La Vie en Rail, which is a few blocks away. La Vie en Rail is a publisher of hobby magazines as well as publications, books, French language books. Probably the closest equivalent would be Kalmbach or White River in the US. Historical books as well as some modeling subject books. They had a children's section. It was really quite an extensive railroad-only bookstore. Here's another shop, Paris Modelisme, which is on Rue de Douai. It has a large HO and N-scale shop, as well as this second storefront, which specializes in larger scales, so O and number 1 scale, as well as some 1/24 scale cars and some LGB. Very nice early 19th century number 1 scale train in the bottom there. This section of the store is really just functions as a storefront. It was locked, you couldn't get in, but if you wanted to purchase anything that you could see through the window, you could go to the main store and they would open it up for you. They also carried some Dépôts English stuff, as well as French subjects. So going back to this, this is the main storefront window, and you can see N scale and HO on the lower, and then even some hobby magazines and some vintage magazines even. This store is on Rue de Douai, and Rue de Douai has about 5 hobby shops in a row, all nearly touching each other. So there's this one on one side of the street, and then on the other side there's 3 in a row. So looking in, just giving you an overall quick walkthrough. There's some paints and solvents, decal solutions. You can see on the right there the store layout, HO scale layout. They had kind of set up as a test track, as well as some scenery, scenic section. There's some complete passenger train sets on the glass front above. On this side, you can see some Arnold N-scale. Sorry for moving around so much. My head was really on a swivel. I wanted to see everything. There's a scratch building section, lots of different size lumber, scale lumber. Again, a lot of little N-scale passenger sets and cars. A lot of nice glass front display shelves. This was interesting. They had the middle shelf there, fully completed little model rooms with all the furniture and everything. I thought they were kind of cool. I had never seen anything like that offered ready to run like that. And there's some signals, as well as some kits. I'm going back to see this company offers laser cut kits of specific rural stations. The prices were quite reasonable. About $50 for a specific station, all laser cut, following the exact prototype. Really nice kits. Getting back to the back, there's a lot of freight cars and boxes. A lot of the freight cars are actually offered in multiples, so you would get several cars of the same or nearly the same paint scheme, and you could run them together. Also in the back they had magazines, as well as they were running kind of a eBay used section. So this is all the used section, and they had an area set up to take photographs and sell them. Okay, outside again, across the street, is Deco Train Atelier. This is more of a used store, second-hand model trains. A lot of HO on that side. This side, some vintage 3-rail O-scale, so French Hornby, Jep, Paya even, Märklin, Bassett Loke. Some nice 3-rail O-scale stuff, post-war mostly. There's their store window. I talked to the owner some, and he had mentioned that this store has been around for a very long time, and they used to actually commission O-scale models. So they had a few models that they had commissioned for sale in the past. They just kept one as a memento of the time. So it's an older shop. Again, a lot of different things. Scratch building supplies, some quite old models that in need of repair, as well as some nice, gently used items too. So yeah, I'm just giving it's a small storefront, giving a quick little overview of what they had. There's the owner. I apologize for my French speaking. I'm much better at reading and hearing than speaking, so I apologize if any of my pronunciation is off. An interesting store, a lot of things I've never seen before. Okay, and back outside again. The next shop directly next door is Trans-Europe Trains. I'll give a little view of the window there. Again, a lot of HO, but they actually carried a lot of O scale as well. So there's some Daypol 2-rail stuff, and 2 as well as 3-rail ETS, Czechoslovakian trains, as well as some model cars. They had some very nice number 1 scale trains, like custom models of French trains. They also made their own kits, so they had a kit of a wireframe boxcar that was quite nice. I was quite tempted by it. This storefront had a buzzer to let you in. And again, this shop had a bit of everything. Lots of kits. They had a lot of British stuff, French stuff, German stuff, even American stuff. I saw some Lionel and K-Line stuff, as well as HO scale American stuff. This shop really reminds me a lot of the hobby shops in New York City. When I first moved to New York City in 2000, there were several hobby shops, and now we're down to just one. But this shop, again, you could just stand here and look at old stock, and you could look for quite a long time before you had seen everything. So I'll make my way back to the back corner here. The storefront windows are actually stocked on both sides. So there's just as much on view on the inside of the store as there is on the outside. Again, he had some LGB stuff. But this store really had the most 2-rail O, which is what I was mostly looking for. And they had some Atlas track as well as some Lens track. Lens is a German company, and they make very good track models, as well as wonderful passenger cars and freight cars. But as you see, it's a small shop, but it's just chock full of stuff. Okay, another shop. This one is Trains. It is in a different neighborhood. It's the La Maris neighborhood. The shop is called Trains. It is on the Boulevard du Temple. And so again, another small shop. Here we are looking in the window, and there's the storefront. They carried strictly HO and a very small amount of N scale. They had a lot of model cars, though. I would say actually of anything, they had more model cars than model trains. But here we are looking in the window. They had some nice models as well. And inside, the owner was nice enough to let me film. and he had quite a big selection of magazines and paints, as well as scratch building supplies. The storefront was mainly a countertop with shelving behind the counter, so most things were visible, but you couldn't really get them yourself. Like most shops here in the city, it makes sense for inventory control. Just looking in the glass storefront or window front, a lot of O-scale model cars and some trains as well. Lots of catalogs. So that's all of the model train shops. This is the toy soldier shop called Les Drapeaux de France. Just thought it was a neat shop. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I have more adventures in France and French trains coming up soon. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment. This is a restaurant shaped like a 19th century passenger car. I thought it was cool. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.